Figuring out which defenses and kickers to start could be an absolute headache. So I got your back. I'm here to assist you guys with your NFL Week 1 defense and special teams plus kickers. We got you guys with our top 12 rankings. We don't have these super duper slides. We're just going to get into the information. But I will lay this out, right? It's very easy to figure out which kicker to start. And we're going to finish off with the kickers, but it's very easy to figure out which kickers to start is because you got to look at offenses that have a high implied point total, but you're not anticipating a lot of touchdown equity. And there's a couple of teams that fit that criteria for the kickers. And then for the defense, you just got to look at really good defenses with really good defensive talent historically and great scheme against pretty shitty offenses. And then you got it. You got it sorted. But we'll get right into it. We'll get started. We'll get it cracking. We got your back. All right, folks. Just got to figure out that's the camera angle we want. All right, coming in at number 1 for our team defense for Week 1. You got the Denver Broncos. They are number 1 against the Tennessee Titans. And if you look at the implied point total, right now the over-under is 42.5, so it continuously goes down. The spread is 8.5, which continuously goes up. What this means is Patrick Surtain is going to lock down Calvin Ridley, and Calvin Ridley is probably the biggest factor for touchdowns for the Tennessee Titans offense, right? I like Calvin Ridley on a weekly basis, but this week he's a sit, and this week the Denver Broncos defense is obviously the number 1, and they were borderline number 1 last year, if not number 1 last year. The pass rush is heavy. They've improved the secondary. They got a great linebacker core. They are well coached and well versed in football. So yeah, they're going to absolutely dominate. And they're going against a rookie quarterback. Coming in at number 2, we got the Pittsburgh Steelers against the New York Jets. The over-under in that game, once again, guys, the lowest implied point total on the entire week is 38.5. What we're anticipating is a lot of takeaways. What we're anticipating is a lot of turnovers. What we're anticipating is a lot of sacks. And what we're anticipating is Justin Fields running for his life from one of the scariest pass rushes in football. And if he's running for his life, he's either going to get sacked, throw a pick, or throw an incompletion. What we're not going to expect Justin Fields to throw for is a lot of touchdowns. So start Pittsburgh defense. They're number 2 on my list. And I know a lot of people got Philly as number 2 on their list, but here's why I have them at number 3. Obviously, the implied point total is a little bit scary when you look at it, right? There's a big cluster of a bunch of teams that are at 47.5. They happen to be one of them. This game kicks off tomorrow, and football is back. Football is freaking back, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm absolutely excited. So here's why I'm kind of worried about the Philadelphia Eagles. They lost one of their better pass rushers, and last year was like a formality. Philadelphia Eagles defense was going to close out games. This year, I don't think so much. They lost Milton Williams to my New England Patriots. They lost one of their pass rushers, Sweat, to the Arizona Cardinals. They lost Darius Slay to the Pittsburgh Steelers. They've lost some key pieces, some significant pieces. Yes, they addressed the pass rush in the draft this year with the first overall pick. Yes, they have 2 outstanding young defensive backs that they brought back from last year, but they're also missing their star safety, CJ Gardner-Johnson. I do anticipate they're going to get some turnovers because Dak Prescott's going to do Dak Prescott shit. And if we know Dak Prescott, he's going to throw an interception. So I like that for them. But when you look at the implied point total, you look at the differential between, how efficient and productive Philadelphia is going to be. We know that Dallas is going to have to put up a lot of points. So if you're in a league where you actually lose points, and this is pretty much every defense and special teams league. I know there's a couple weird ones out there, but we don't do the weird stuff, right? We're very missionary here. So if you're in one of those leagues, which you should be, which is why you're watching this video, where you lose points based off of touchdowns, field goals, and that kind of equity, well, I don't love this game for Philly, but they're obviously one of those defensive special teams that you have to play. In DFS, I don't think they're worth a pay up, but this next team I think is going to absolutely dominate. And that's the Minnesota Vikings. Listen, I hear the rumors loud and clear, like Ben Johnson, the offensive line improved. They brought in yada, yada, yada. But at the end of the day, I think Caleb Williams still doesn't have everything that you want in between, the eyes. I think what's going on underneath the helmet he's more of a head case than he is like talent situation. Words are not wording. I'm not betting against the talent and the ability and the roster that's surrounding him. I'm betting against what's going on in his head. I think he's got some head issues, and I think he's going to, have some more growing pains within this new scheme, this new regime, this new offense. And you look at what Flores does. Flores takes the ball away at a very high rate with the Minnesota Vikings, and that defense only got better this offseason. So yeah, Minnesota's number 4 on our list. Number 5, we got the New York Jets against the Pittsburgh Steelers. And listen, the run game is going to struggle. I think DK Metcalf is also going to struggle. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to struggle. And I like Aaron Glenn the way he takes the ball away early and often. I think Aaron Glenn is going to coach up a defensive masterclass against Arthur Smith. Another game, like we alluded to earlier when we were talking about Pittsburgh at number 2, the implied point total is just catastrophic. It's 38.5. So that means there's going to be a lot of takeaways, a lot of turnovers. Potentially some of the bigger touchdowns are going to be on, interceptions going for a return. I also like the idea of special teams being the difference maker in this game. But once again, you look at the 38.5, it's hard not to bet on the under. So coming in at number 5, I believe that is the New York Jets. Number 6, we got the Arizona Cardinals. And this one I'm a little iffy and wishy-washy about. Like, I don't love the idea of starting the Arizona Cardinals defense, but they brought in one of the best pass rushers that was a free agent in, I believe it was Josh Sweat is his name. I know there's Montez Sweat. I think he's in Chicago, but Josh Sweat, one of the Sweat brothers, they brought him in. They've improved their pass rush. They brought in one of the better cornerbacks, one of the highly graded cornerbacks. I believe his name is Will Johnson from the University of Michigan. And like, he was a top 20 prospect, but he fell to the second round or third round, second or third round. I'm pretty sure it was the second round, but he was one of the highest ranked prospects, like consensus wise, for all the cornerbacks and all the players in this year's rookie draft. He just fell because he had an injury, but he's healthy and he's good to go. So I do like that for them. What I don't like is the fact that Kellen Moore is a really, really good offensive coordinator. And last year we thought we liked the Dallas Cowboys defense against the New Orleans Saints opening week. And the New Orleans Saints and Alvin Kamara and Rashid Shaheed and Chris Olave, they shot on them. And I understand it's Spencer Rattler, but Spencer Rattler isn't necessarily the person I'm worried about. I'm worried about Kellen Moore. So if you are starting the Arizona Cardinals this week, it kind of feels like starting, the Indianapolis Colts last year in your fantasy football championship. Just because we anticipate an offense is going to do bad doesn't mean that the defense is going to be great, right? Because once again, there's so many new variables, new scheme, new regime, and obviously a new starting quarterback for New Orleans. I know it's the easy call, but I just don't love that call at all. A call I absolutely love is a team that's improved drastically, and that's the New England Patriots versus the Las Vegas Raiders. And across the board, yes, the Las Vegas Raiders have improved drastically offensively, but where they have not improved is their offensive line, and their offensive line is still one of the bottom offensive lines in the league. And if you look at the New England Patriots, last year they were like bottom in every sort of statistical category. Now, this is subject to change if Christian Gonzalez isn't healthy and ready to go, one of the Patriots' star corners. But this is one of the most improved offseason defensive squads ever. Like ever. Like, the talent they've invested in it, they brought it in. They addressed the pass rush. They addressed the defensive front with the defensive tackles. They addressed the opposite cornerback position. They've addressed the halfback position. They brought in run stopper from the Las Vegas Raiders in Robert Spillane. Across the board, they've improved drastically. So I think that the Patriots are going to matriculate the ball down the field. I also like the Patriots to score a touchdown on special teams. I don't know how you could bet on that, but if you could bet on it, I like the Patriots a lot to score a touchdown on special teams. Chisholm is hism. Hashtag Chisholm is hism. All right, coming in next. And this one's another one of those tough calls because the Los Angeles Rams is a team that you never, ever, ever want to start a defense again, but their offensive line is just horrid. It's awful. And across the board, defensive backs, linebacker core, pass rush, run stop, the Houston Texans are a beast. They are absolutely incredible. And if you look at what Vegas is looking like, you would anticipate. Okay, so coming in number 8 for everybody who's listening audibly is the Houston Texans, right? Coming in at number 8, we have the Texans. And the reason why we have the Texans here is because when you look at the implied point total, once again, it's always about the implied point total and the talent. Once you put those two things together, you then put you consider and factor the offensive line situation and the differential there, and you come up with this equation. And the implied point total for this game is 44 points, right? You would anticipate when the Los Angeles Rams and the Houston Texans come together for a game, you're going to see 51, 52 points because of the air it out approach. But with Matthew Stafford being banged up, with the offensive line actually getting worse this offseason, I don't anticipate that they're going to be able to run and establish the run a heck of a lot. So it comes down to Matthew Stafford's arm. I still think Puka Nacua is going to eat, but in a PPR format, I like him as a volume play, chunk plays, a lot of yardage. I don't mind the kicker in this game, even though he's not a top 12 for me. The kicker for the LA Rams. But yeah, that's why. And then we're going to stay in the same freaking game, because talking about offensive lines for number 9, the Houston Texans offensive line has actually gotten worse, and they were one of the worst, if not the worst offensive line in football last year. So coming in at number 9, we got the ferocious pass rush of the Los Angeles Rams versus the Houston Texans. Once again, man, we're going to see sacks early and often. We're going to potentially see some picks. We're going to see a lot of hits. It's going to be one of those crazy situations and scenarios. And then we got at 10, we got the Super Bowl runner-up, the Kansas City Chiefs. And listen, this defense hasn't lost a beat. They still got the defensive coordinator that has taken them to 3 or 4 Super Bowls in a row, Steve Spagnuolo, and he's phenomenal. The pass rush has only improved and gotten better. The defensive back room, sure, could be a little bit wishy-washy, and yes, I understand that it's the Los Angeles Chargers, but no team can run the football on these guys. And a Greg Roman offense for the Los Angeles Chargers depends. It 100% depends. And I'm not talking about the man diapers. I'm talking about the reliability. It depends on the run game. If the run game can move the rock, they are good to go and they can air it out and pass the ball. But no team, even the Super Bowl defending champs, was able to run on these Kansas City Chiefs. So with that being said, I'm anticipating not a heck of a lot of points for the LA Chargers. If it does come, sure, it's going to be Ladd McConkey, but I'm not betting on it being on the ground from, either Najee Harris or Marion Hampton. Reverse the order. It's Marion Hampton, then Najee Harris. Coming in at number 11, it's another one of those ones where it's like, we started the Indianapolis Colts against the New York Giants and Drew Lock last year, and Malik Neighbors went absolutely nuclear. And yeah, I guess Washington has Dan Quinn, and Washington has a good but like, you got to look at it this way. If the New York Giants defense, and like, I'm considering starting the New York Giants defense because I think that they're going to be suffocating, but I'm not going to put them in the top 12. I would say they're 14, 15, just because that pass rush is going to be absolutely suffocating for Jaden Daniel. I also like the under in this game. I love the under in this game. Right now, the over-under is 45.5, and the Giants are underdogs by 6 points. I would actually just take the Giants to cover the spread as well. But what we do know is Russell Wilson's a shitty quarterback, and he's going to throw a lot of interceptions. And I wouldn't say a lot of interceptions, but it's like, you know the term quicksand, the harder you try, the more you fuck up. That is the epitome of Russell Wilson's afterlife after he threw that interception to my guy, Malcolm Butler. Like, things are going to be going good. They're going to be looking good. And then he's going to throw the ball away. Tyrone Tracy's a fumble machine. Even though I like Tyrone Tracy as a DFS play and a fantasy football play, he still gives the ball a heck of a lot. So we're accounting for potentially 2 turnovers there, and they have improved a little bit, right? So I worry about Malik Neighbors. This is another one of those ones where I'm not like prioritizing starting them. I'm not thrilled about starting them, but if you have to, sure, why not? I don't mind it. The matchup makes sense. It makes sense, but the culture also looks better for the New York Giants. I don't know if you guys were watching the preseason. I don't like to give a lot of merit to the preseason, but the culture looks really good for the New York Giants. And I hate saying that. I hate complimenting that. I'm a diehard Patriots fan. I hate the New York Giants. All right, coming in at number 12, and people are going to give me a lot of hate. And apparently I'm just like the biggest Detroit Lions hater and whatever. I'm fucking here for it. Coming in number 12, we have the incredible pass rush of the Green Bay Packers. Listen, you got Rashawn Gary on one side, Micah Parsons on the other side, and the Detroit Lions are missing 2 of their best interior offensive linemen. And still potentially, there's no word as of today, if Taylor Decker is playing. So even if Taylor Decker is playing, I think either Micah Parsons or Sean Gary beats him like a drummer. Yes, I think that Penei Sewell is going to be fine, but when you're not establishing the run, you're not going to get those chunk explosive plays. Green Bay is also hosting, and Green Bay is also favored. I'm anticipating quite a bit of turnovers, and I don't care what you say about Jair Alexander being gone. Jair Alexander was hardly there last year, okay? So there's going to be turnovers. They're going to force turnovers, and we're going to see Jared Goff will be absolutely Goffle. So yeah, that's my top 12 defenses and special teams. And now let's go to the kickers. Here's our top 12 kickers, and we're not going to give you a reason why. Once again, just look at the implied point total and then come up with your random reason here. So coming at number 1, all right, we'll go here. Coming at number 1 for our kickers is Chase McLaughlin versus Atlanta. The implied point total there is 47. I don't anticipate that we're going to see the Tampa Bay Buccaneers score a heck of a lot of touchdowns. I do like them to score a couple touchdowns, but I think that they're going to need his heavy leg to keep them in the game, and it's in a dome. So I love Chase McLaughlin to be the #1 kicker. I think Will Lutz is going to be very good against the Tennessee Titans. I like here. Okay, hot take, guys. This guy should be on every one of your DFS lineups this week because nobody gives up more points than the Miami Dolphins for kickers. And that defense is absolutely riddled with injuries. Their defensive backroom has Minkah Fitzpatrick, and that's it. Everybody else is injured and on the IR. It's crazy, right? It's an indoor game. The over-under is a high implied point total of 46.5. So the question that you need to ask yourself, and this is where common sense needs to prevail, and sometimes common sense ain't so common, so I'm helping you out here. If you look at what the quarterback situation is for the Indianapolis Colts, Daniel Jones is at the helm. I think Jonathan Taylor is going to find the end zone a couple of times, so that's going to be a couple extra points there. But do we anticipate for the 46, for them just to keep up their end of the 46.5, do we anticipate that Daniel Jones is going to be able to throw for multiple 3-4 touchdowns? No. So we need field goals to make up the differential there. And that's where I like Spencer Schrader. Do I know anything about Spencer Schrader? No, I literally just learned his name today. But when I look at the advantageous matchups, it fucking makes sense. So start him, don't start him. I don't care. I'm doing this for you. Brandon Aubrey versus Philadelphia, they're going to need to try to keep up in that game if it's competitive. I like Matt Gay versus the New York Giants because, once again, that defensive front is suffocating. So if there are chunk plays, I don't think they're going to end up and result in touchdowns. They're probably going to settle for multiple field goals. Dicker the kicker versus Kansas City Chiefs because, once again, I think the offense for the Los Angeles Chargers is going to stall. Kyrie Fairbairn versus the Rams because I'm not betting on a lot of touchdowns in that game. I do like Nico Collins for an anytime touchdown for what it's worth. Jake Bates versus Green Bay. I think that they can move the ball. They're going to get chunk plays, but they're not going to result in a touchdown. So it's going to result into field goals. Evan McPherson versus Cleveland because, 47.5 points, probably all touchdowns, and probably all 47 points are going to, the Cincinnati Bengals. And I like the over. I like 57.5 in that game because the Bengals defense sucks. So we're going to have to see a lot of points, whether it be extra points or field goals. Harrison Butker versus LAC because LAC does have a good defense. I anticipate them to hit the over in that game. It's 46.5. I like this game not to be necessarily a shootout, but I like this game to go over, and I like a lot of points. So they're going to have to stagger it. We're talking about potentially 2 to 3 field goals, and that's a difference maker, right? Jake Elliott versus Dallas. It's just going to be straight up extra points. And then Will Reichard versus Chicago because let's be honest. I don't trust JJ McCarthy to just hold on, we're back. I don't just trust JJ McCarthy to outright be the guy right off the rip. They're missing a lot of people, a lot of receivers. I think Thielen's going to be fine, but I also don't think Thielen's going to be spectacular. The Chicago defense was pretty good before they got banged up last year, and all they did this offseason was improve defensively as well. I think Justin Jefferson's going to get his. I think he's going to be involved. I love TJ Hawkinson. I think TJ Hawkinson's going to be involved. But I think we're going to see a lot of those drives just be killed by the inexperience of JJ McCarthy. And that's okay. If you can take points, you can take points. And that's why I like Will Reichard, especially, or Rutgers, especially on Monday Night Football. All right, guys. So once again, on Disco, this was fun. You guys asked for it. If you guys like the video, please like the video. If you guys want to subscribe, it would help the channel a heck of a lot. A lot of you who watch this video are not liking it, and a lot of you are not subscribing. Help the boy out. Help me make this dream come true. I'm giving you guys solid advice. We got videos for our week 1 quarterbacks, week 1 wide receivers, week 1 tight ends, week 1 running backs. Go watch them now. It's all attached to this playlist. We got all of them right here, guys. Appreciate you guys for rocking with me. Until next time. Peace.